Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mars coming at you over the interwaves with another StarCraft 2 cast. This one sent in by a member of the community. This guy or this guy has sent in replays before and they have been good. So, yeah, let's hope this is a good one. We have over on the bottom right side of Abyssal Reef, Makana. His opponent bears a description of some sort. Also, I happen to know the level of this game, and if you're going to be a Barcode in GM, I can understand it. But this is Silver Gold League. You don't need to Barcode. It's fine, really. All right, TVT versus two players of of similar skill sets. I'm kind of going for a little bit of scout, whereas Barcode feels very comfortable knowing absolutely buckbase, which is very, very lore accurate. Where the Terrans were sort of the I want to try and take out that SUV. Where the Terrans were sort of the the rednecks of space. So there you go. Out, I say. Oh, this is nice. This is why I'm always happy that StarCraft has such a good block system. You just, go to F11 and then you press the block button. It's fine. Your F11 will look differently than this, by the way. Alright, got a command center here, got a command center there, and this SCV saw everything that there is to see. Where's opponent? Still doesn't know anything. Factory coming on down for our unnamed player. Whereas Makana feels comfortable not doing so yet, going for a second barracks. Now, at this level of play, we don't have to speak about specific build orders. I don't think either of these would be able to put in that crisp timing you so look for in the higher levels. So we see, barracks on the side of Makana and a factory on the side of our unnamed bad-mouthed opponent. And he's not who got the first shot off? No. Makana got the first shot off, but yeah, then he did a little bit of micro that gave the opponent the upper hand right there. So unfortunately, he could have possibly made his life very hard for that SCV right there. Going to get on back there, and with the combat drug, I believe that's called combat drugs. Yes, drugs. Don't do drug, kids. Should be able to completely refill the life of that Reaper. Getting the factory now, where's the opponent is already on the starport. Look at that, or the Barcode moved the factory onto the reactor of his barracks and is building both a Hellion and a Cyclone, and following that up with two Hellions. Cyclone's very good. No, sorry. Cyclones used to be very good at defending early drops and stuff. Now, not so much anymore. So, very good early game defensive unit. Is he going to use it offensively? Oh. No, will not be able to track down that Reaper unless that Reaper obliges him in standing still, which he so does. We've got Stim coming on in for Makana and a second factory. Ooh, let's see. Are we building tanks yet? We're not building tanks. What are you going to be using this for, Makana? A little bit light on the gas, I imagine. Oh, and his opponent's building Liberators. Very, very tricky to deal with. If properly utilized. And with the early Hellions in place, moves his factory back onto a tech lab for perhaps some tanks himself. Not there we go. Tanks. So lots of Marines on the side of Makana and some Hellions on the side of our barcoded Terran. Hellions can make absolute mincemeat of Terrans or of Marines if they stand still. But we'll see what the engagement will actually be. On the other hand, if the Marines stand still just in front of a tank, the Hellions don't fare too well either. So, just the one not using... Okay. Okay. Building that starport on top of that tech lab. I wonder if we're going to go into some Banshees right there. We've got the first attack rate coming on up there, and his opponent is getting a blue flame. Going to go Mech, it would appear. 2 factories on both sides. A third factory going on down there. Infantry weapons going on by Makana, so going for that Marine tank style, whereas opponent is very much committing to full Mech. We've got a nice defensive position here. Liberators not yet sieged up or deployed, I suppose. And use that scan to finally see what his opponent is up to and sees Marine tanks. So very, very standard on the side there. And it would appear our Barcode Terran likes Jimmy's voice right there. I don't know if we can get a shot of what Makana listens to. It looks like the standard one. Alright. Can get many different announcers these days. If you are a fan of Jimmy, if you're a fan of Q, or Alarak as he's called in this universe, if you're a fan of Total Biscuit, you can get all these lovely people's voices massaging the inside of your ears with their announcer packs available in the StarCraft client. Lots of SCVs being built over on this side, whereas Makana is a little bit lacking, although it is. This side is a little bit oversaturated, but that should be resolved as soon as we move this out. And a complete turret ring being built. One of the weaknesses of Mech very much being the lack of mobility. And if you are trying to slowly siege up from here to here, one medevac with a bunch of Marines can land here and like destroy your main. Unless, of course, the medevac can't fly there because he got shot down. So that is the motivation on the side of the Barcode player. Makana has its third in place, so does the Barcode, but Makana doesn't have an orbital command yet, and he doesn't have the SCVs to saturate that, whereas a Barcode does. A little bit of scouting going on by Makana. Oh, and he didn't go for the Banshee. He went for the Raven. Maybe saving up some money. Going to put down 1-2 auto turrets in a mineral line, perhaps here. And those things, with not the latest patch, but one of the recent patches, do so much damage. Standard upgrades going on down there, and yet more factories. Oh yes, that SCV did a very good job of scouting it. Don't try to go into the main, don't try to go into the main, don't try to go into the main. Nope. Now can just put those down there. Wait, yes, there we go. Not going for the SCVs. This one going for the SCVs. Does lose the Raven in front of it. I got 3 workers, but I'm afraid that's not quite enough to pay for a Raven. More tech labs being built for more siege tanks or possibly Thors. And scanning to see what is going on. Yep. Combat shells almost ready, very much needed in order to survive that first shelling of the siege tank. Although 2 will still kill a Marine pretty handily. Wait, they're not armored. Yeah, that does it. Like this one, fully in range there. Sees everything that's going on there. And a continuation of the missile turret wall, ring wall. I suppose. Could perhaps put 1 or 2 down here. Maybe there. Well, Marines to stim in from over there. But Makana at the back of all of this has a bigger army. If he can get the position on his opponent, then he can do quite a bit of damage, and he can just walk up here. This is a very... I've used the word labyrinthian to describe some of the maps we have, and this is very much one. Oh! If he can get his opponent on the move out, that would be very good. And does he scan that? No, I think he just missed the army right there. And it is going to get scouted by Makana. Makana is going to turn back to... Oh, he's got a siege line there. Now, his opponent sieges up as well. That's outside of range of those. But yeah, Makana can now not move in there. Even if he does want to. This many siege tanks, 9, will make absolute mincemeat of your Marines. You left a siege tank there. Nope. Is going to pull that siege tank back, move this defensive perimeter over here. Now I can't say I agree with that all that much because this is high ground. So from here you can shoot there if you can see them, but from here you can't see what's going on here. Also going to go bypass him straight away in order to get that position on the third base, and that third base is very dead if he moves in right now. Yeah, nowhere in position is Makana. Makana has 1 tank right there, is going to lose that orbital command, and his opponent should feel very comfortable just pulling back or indeed pushing forward because just 1 tank, not enough. Makana over here, oh, you are very much out of position, my friend. Oh. All the tanks left here though, and Makana is going to go for the base trade. That might be his best option, because going into an a siege turn, that is not the best way of dealing with things. There's 1 siege tank there, and with a base trade having been started so much earlier on this side, I'm not feeling terribly confident for Makana right there, who does have 2 tanks in there, not doing very much of everything. Going to take this out, that third base unmolested as so far, and we do have the Barcode pushing on in there. We do not have any siege tanks right there, so that means that these guys are now completely unopposed, free to wreck. Oh, that poor siege tank. That poor tank. Free to completely wreck his opponent if he so chooses, but now he's got this position and nothing has flown. No, what do I say? Nothing has flown out. There's 3 factories so far that have flown out. Makana not doing the same trick is going to leave all of his buildings very solidly on terra firma as he does move into his opponent's main. Oh, that stim is going to make very short work of all of that stuff. Oh, and this Marine does spot all of these things. Makana is being revealed, does have quite enough things to rebuild if he so chooses, and oh, that's alright. Well, that was very nice of him. He let those get away. Now with all these Marines, does get that Hellion is going to take care of that. Yeah, both sides are very supply blocked. That's what tends to happen if you do lose your, I don't know, pylons or supply depots in a base trade. And Makana is trying to get a position on his opponent, and his opponent is not sieged up, and siege tanks do a lot of damage if they do get to do that siege of their siege tank in their name. So got a couple of nice shots off there, using that mobility very well. Let's see, how many buildings do we have? We've got a starport floating on into the ether. And then we've got 8 supply depots there. And, Barcode has unsupply blocked himself, but that's not lasting very long. Makana finds that. His opponent not getting revealed. Does still have an orbital command. And once again, unsieged. will be able to get a few units right there, but has to get on out of there. Perhaps Makana can use this, the high ground there, to his advantage, but his opponent is very careful, making sure to siege up. Oh, and moving on out there. He's moving around, he's moving around, he's moving around. Oh, don't fly in there, don't fly in there. Okay, good. They have Vikings there. Gets to drop on these 2 tanks and should be able to get all the factories right there if he so chooses. Salop. I have a feeling that's a bad word in some language. GG! Very nicely done by Makana right there. His opponent definitely, if he forced an engagement, he would have had the better army with all those tanks to make absolute mincemeat out of Marines, but no. It's Makana using his mobility, got him around there and forced the GG. Nicely played. If you enjoyed this video, press that like button. If you'd like to see more of me, subscribe.